Hey, you guys, this is Carolyn, the owner of Funky and Bold Empowerment Business for Women. And today's video, we're going to talk about your hidden beliefs. But before I get into that, please go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you can get alerted for all the fabulous videos I have coming down the pike. We all have beliefs, right? We all believe thousands of things, okay? But there are beliefs that we have that we may not realize we have, okay? What happens is when it comes to your beliefs, there are things that we see at a very early age that we don't necessarily have the ability to put in the context. So what we do is we take that information at face value. We don't interpret it at all. We just take it as it is and adopt that as a truth. And that becomes a belief, right? For example, when I was a little girl, I lived in an upstairs apartment. And when I looked out my window at 5 years old, I used to see guys riding up and down the street on their bikes, and these are older guys, so they're like, I'm 5, so they're like 20, so they're older guys. So they're riding up and down the street with their bikes, and they're having a ball, and I'm seeing this, and I interpreted that type of behavior as guys are confident. That's it. I didn't take it anything. I didn't say, well, that guy is just following after that guy, so it's really the one guy who got the confidence and the rest are followers. I didn't say that. I didn't know that. I just looked out my window and saw the guys in my neighborhood riding bikes, popping wheelies, doing tricks, laughing, being athletic and healthy. I interpreted it as guys are confident. That's all I took it at face value. And that's normally when things happen, right up until we're about 6, 7 years old before we're able to really understand. Our brain is even developed to really understand what is happening. We just take things at face value. And the place that develops our beliefs are two major places. It's our family and our family home, and our community, our neighborhood, our immediate neighborhood. Or I'll say the place where you spend the most time. So you could live with your mom, but if you are at your grandparents' house every day after school and you're there on the weekends, it's where you spend the most time. So in between the ages of 0 to 6, in your family's home and your neighborhood. Those are the key times that your beliefs are developed. And that's where they sit. And that's where they stay until you begin to question them. And if you never question them, then you will believe that until your time is done. And that's the way it is. Because those thoughts get buried into your subconscious mind. And you base all your decisions off of those beliefs. These beliefs get reinforced repeatedly until they are ingrained in your brain. Now, if something happens and someone that you love and trust goes against those beliefs, then those beliefs get ousted. They are gone. Okay? But if no one that you love and respect says anything, they stay there. And a lot of times people don't realize that you're seeing these things, that you're interpreting these things, that you're taking any of this stuff in. So if we don't have anyone to put anything in the context for us, we will just take it at face value and begin to live our lives off of this unprocessed and probably wrong information, depending on what it is. Now, when you begin to move forward through life, what you do is you begin to look for people who support these beliefs, because these beliefs are now your reality. And what we do, because these beliefs are in our subconscious, these are hidden beliefs. What we begin to do is to go out into the world and start looking for things to support our reality. Have you ever looked at someone and watched them do something that just seems crazy, just bizarre as hell, just crazy, and you say, who does that? That's because that person is doing what their reality is telling them is the right thing to do. That is based on the beliefs that are in their subconscious mind that are telling them to do whatever it is you just saw them do, which is probably weird as hell to you, but makes all the sense in the world to them. Okay? So as you go on into life, you look for people who support your reality. Let's make it simple. Let's say you are of working class parents. Working class parents have worked with a set of values. They have a value system that is different, not necessarily better, but different than a family of upper middle class, high class, and low class, the poor class. Okay? They have different value systems. So what you do is you go outside and you find friends who share your value system. All right? Easy enough. You go have after school activities. Your friends have after school activities. You play sports, they play sports. Simple as that. As you go on, now these are people that share your values, so you respect these people. If you didn't respect them, something's going on. Their values are different than yours. Period. You don't mess with them. So these people share your values. They either share the values you have or share the values you want to have. Okay, that you aspire to. So again, You are still learning because they're introducing you. You're being introduced to a lot of, we're always being introduced to a lot of new things every day, even past childhood. But we don't realize that we base it on old beliefs. But as you go on, as a young person, you go out into the world and you have friends who share your values, that you admire and look up to in some cases. And they begin to do things that may humiliate you or make you feel inferior at the very least. Okay? Now, these are people that you admire. They share your values. They have values that you admire and aspire to. You want to be them in a certain light. But what they do is degrade you. But because these are people that you admire, you take that in. You don't dispel it. You don't say, you know what? You rude. That's your problem. You a rude individual. I don't want nothing to do with you. I'm out of here. You don't say that because they share your values and you want to be them at some level. They have something that makes you aspirational. You see excellence in them. So when they degrade you, you take that in and then you say, well, I guess I do need to start doing whatever it is that they say. And when you accept that and you take that in, that alters your self-image from one that is high to one that's lower. Maybe not extremely lower, but it is lower. It ain't up here no more. Now it's lower. And if you continue to get that from enough people and places that you admire and you aspire to, in the area that they continue to humiliate you in, it gets completely distorted. You understand what I'm saying? It gets completely distorted. And you have other areas where you shine. But in this one area, and hopefully it's only one area, in this one area, you are suffering. But I'm going to tell you, there was nothing wrong with you. There was absolutely nothing wrong with you. That person had an opinion. And because you admired this person, you did not see this person for who they really were. You may not even have known what this person was. When a person doesn't accept you wholly and starts to take pop shots at you to demean you from either that person and or any other institution or friend or family, they are projecting insecurity onto you. There was nothing wrong with you. We are individuals. We do not all shine the same. And wherever you may fall short, that makes you you. That means if you don't shine in art, that allows you to pay all that attention to math. Do you understand what I'm saying? You are not meant to be like Tom, Dick, and Harry. You're not meant to be that. So if you fall short in what Tom, Dick, and Harry is doing, that means all your energy is pushed over here to your talent. But when you don't have anyone to put that into context, what happens is you say, I am not good enough. That's what you say. Your talent, your raw talent, is not tapped into. You look at it as, oh, well, anybody could do it. No, they can't. No, they cannot. No, they can't. Because you are trying to aspire to a person who is insecure and demeaning. I'll tell you something about people like that. It wasn't just you. They are like that with a lot of people. It wasn't just you. Why people do things like that, I'll get into another video because we'll be here all day. We don't want that. But I will tell you, when you get that information enough from people that you admire, that are in your peer group, who you think are supposed to have your best interests at hand, who you see as an equal, when they go on to diminish you, you say, I am not good enough. And that belief is hidden because you don't necessarily interpret it that way. Because if I told you, you think you're not good enough, if you consider yourself to be a person with high self-esteem, you'll say, I'm plenty good enough. And you'll start running off a list of the things that you tell me that you couldn't do and what they not going to tell you, what you can't do. And you just going to go off. And then I'll bring up the topic. And let's say dating, okay? Let's say guys. You may say, because we've all heard this one, dudes out here ain't about nothing. And there are some men out here who are struggling. But if you thought you were good enough, you would rise above that population. You wouldn't even be looking at that population. You wouldn't set eyes on that population. But you are telling yourself, this is the best that I can do. That's what you are saying. When you are in a situation where you are being belittled, you are struggling, you are not advancing, you are being embarrassed, humiliated, you have no one that has your back, and you continue on in life like that, you are telling yourself, this is the best I can do, and I am not good enough. How can you turn that around? It's as simple as telling yourself, I am good enough. I deserve better. I am worthy. You start saying that, you start finding people who behave like that. You start finding people who breathe life into you. And you start associating with people who have what you want. Whether they be people you can actually touch, people you have follow on social media, people who have written books. But I tell you what, You do not have to sit there in life and continue to tell yourself that I am not good enough, because when you do, you settle. And settle, oh my God, to a single woman, settle is a cuss word. Like, who? What? Who you talking to? You get upset. When somebody tell a single woman to settle, you be like, I know you did not. They get upset, okay? Ain't nobody with it. Ain't nobody with it. So, when you tell yourself this is the best I could do, you settling. And I am of the philosophy that all people need is to be made aware of what's going on, and they will all correct. But I tell you, it probably won't happen overnight. If it happened overnight, you'd be like, oh, well, girl, that's all you had to say. And you go out there, get you a better job, get you a better man. Girl, I'm with it. Leave the comments below, because I want to hear that success story. But it may not happen overnight. You may need to hear this a few times. And I know some people be like, I can't believe she did that. There are tons of us on YouTube, and a lot of these messages you probably will hear. You'll probably hear the same messages again and again from different people. But we all have a different story to tell. We all come from a different walk of life. And you'll be like, that happened to me. Yes. So you want to go check out other people. But I tell you what, a lot of us have been out here and we had to figure it out the hard way. I'm talking about years of our lives having to straighten it out and figure it out on our own. That's why we here. So definitely look online. Listen to what people are saying. But I am telling you, the fact that you are even looking at this says that you are able to win. You have a winner in you. There are people who accept their fate and just call it a day. The fact that you are even looking at this says that you have self-esteem enough to become the person you dare to dream of. All you got to do is follow through on it. That's it. So with that, I'm gonna sign off. Thank you for watching the video. I love you guys. Definitely go ahead, like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be alerted on when the next Funky and Bold video is uploaded. I try to upload every twice a week. You're definitely going to see more of me. And when I figure out how to do it, I'm going to add music. I tried before and music just took over the whole video. You couldn't hear none of me. You just heard this cute little music. I'm going to get it together. But in the meantime, take in the message and be good.